Okay, so if you're a Harry Potter fan, your timeline probably exploded a little while ago with some pretty big news. Another movie? And it's dropping in just a few days? I mean, it sounded incredible, almost too good to be true. But as it turns out, the reality is a little more complicated and, honestly, a lot more interesting. So, yeah, the big question on everyone's mind was, wait, are we really getting a new Harry Potter movie? Especially before the big HBO series has even come out? The official social media accounts definitely made it seem that way, with this huge surprise announcement and a release date that was right around the corner. And the answer is, well, not quite. What we're actually getting is an exclusive new behind-the-scenes special. It's supposed to be a really deep dive into the making of the new series, pulling back the curtain to show us how they're putting it all together. The official title is Finding Harry, the craft behind the magic. And the whole idea is to give us an inside look at the epic scale of this new show. It's going to focus on all the talented artists and craftspeople who are working to bring these books to life for a whole new generation. But here's the thing. If you've been a fan for a long time, this whole strategy feels weirdly familiar. A big behind-the-scenes special to go along with a major new adaptation. We've actually seen this exact play before. You just have to go all the way back to 2001. Let's rewind the clock for a second. Back then, the BBC put on a documentary called Harry Potter and Me. It was actually hosted by J.K. Rowling herself, and it gave the world its very first real glimpse into how the magic of that first film was actually made. But, and this is the crucial point, it changes everything. The movie Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, it hit theaters in November of 2001. That documentary, Harry Potter and Me, it didn't air until a full month later, in December. That timing, that's the whole story. We, the audience, had already been completely swept up in the story. We already bought into the world. The magic had already done its job. It was only after we had that pure, uninterrupted experience that we were invited to see how the sausage was made, so to speak. And that right there brings us to the heart of this whole debate. It's the strategic difference between releasing a making-of special before the main event versus releasing it after. We're looking at a tale of two very, very different approaches. So let's just break this down. On one side, you have the 2001 model. Release the documentary after the film. This totally preserved that initial magical viewing experience for everyone. On the other side, you have the new strategy. Release Finding Harry before the series. The goal is clearly to build hype and show how committed they are. But the risk? It's huge. You risk spoiling the illusion before it even gets a chance to exist.
Which leads to the one big nagging question that a lot of fans are asking. By putting the how it's made stuff front and center, are they basically showing us how the magic trick is done before we've even had a chance to be amazed by the illusion?
And that question, well, it gets right to the heart of what so many fans are worried about. It's not really about marketing strategy, it's about the emotional journey of entering a story that you love. There's a very real fear that this approach could end up spoiling the magic. I mean, just think back to the first time you saw the original movies. It was pure discovery, wasn't it? You experienced Hogwarts, you saw the Great Hall, the floating candles, the characters. You believed in it before you ever saw the green screens and the wires. And it's not just the marketing, the whole process has changed. The original search for Harry almost feels like a myth now, right? Daniel Radcliffe was just spotted in a theater. Today, the search is this massive, formalized, global thing with huge casting calls and online submissions. It's a different world. Plus, this new production is under a completely different universe of pressure. They aren't just adapting a book people love. They're following a film series that defined a generation. That means they're dealing with 2 decades of built-up audience expectations. The weight on their shoulders is just immense. And this sentiment from fans really captures that core anxiety perfectly. You see it everywhere online. People are saying, I don't want to see green screens before I've even experienced the story. It sort of spoils the illusion. It's really a plea to just let the magic happen first. So let's just call this what it is. It's a risky reveal. The studio is making a very calculated bet here. They're trading one kind of fan experience for another. And to be fair, there are some clear reasons why they're doing it. From a marketing point of view, this special has 2 huge goals. Number 1, it's an incredibly powerful way to build hype. And number 2, it's a way for them to show their commitment, to reassure a pretty nervous fan base that, hey, we're taking this seriously, look at the amazing work we're doing. But, and it's a big but, the risk doesn't go away. This very front and center how it's made approach could totally change, and maybe even ruin that initial moment of wonder. It is a really high-stakes gamble. Now, there is a small, hopeful sign. The trailer for the special does have some actual shots from the new series. It's not just production footage. And that leads to the big wish from fans that the final special will focus more on teasing the actual story and characters, rather than just deconstructing how they were made. And I think this sums up the conflict for fans perfectly. On an intellectual level, you get it. This is probably really good, effective promotion. But in your heart, as a Harry Potter fan, you just can't help but wish they'd saved it for later. So that's the final question, isn't it? It's really about how we consume stories in this age of nonstop information and spoilers. Can you truly appreciate the incredible craft that goes into making something before you've even had the chance to experience its magic? I guess we're all about to find out.